Hello and welcome to the Footy Mailbag. My name's Clarky.
And I'm Damo.
Let's get to the questions. Damo, we're back this week with another special guest, continuing our streak of just getting in the best people from around the SuperCouch sphere. And this week our guest is the one and only the SuperCouch Potato. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I feel like I think I said this last time we had you on, where I feel like I'm going crazy every time I look at it. I'm like, has it always been SuperCouch? I swear at one point I just assumed it was SuperCouch, but I might be SuperCouch coded. Intern.
Yes. No, it's always been couch. I know because we were looking for a couch. I don't know that at that time I was making the name and I got the spelling wrong because I was texting the missus couch instead of coach and it just kind of stuck. So yeah, it's
I love it
couch
because it's
potato.
two different versions of me Mandela affecting myself and you having a brain switch of the word.
That's right. Seems fitting though, being a couch potato anyway.
Since we last got up, how's your team going? How's your year going so far?
It's not good. This has been a very tough year. I'm glad I'm on this week though. I've just had my best week yet, so definitely easier this week than any of the other weeks. But yeah, currently ranked about 30,000. So yeah,
That's not bad. We take that.
Yeah, I'll take it for now. But
We got you at a good time because you said it was your best week, but you also launched your own SuperCouch channel on YouTube this year as well. How's that going for you?
Yeah, it's cool. I haven't done anything for the last couple of weeks, but I'll be doing an update this week though. I've just had a bit on, but yeah, it's just good to sort of share your thoughts in a bit more detail and brainstorm, I guess. Yeah, that's been good fun.
Love it.
Damo, we'll get right into the usual segments that we do run. What caught your eye this week?
There are taggers that aren't the traditional taggers out there, and I think that explains at least a few of the bad scores going around. Matt Kennedy had a close checking role on Tanner Bruin on Friday night. It didn't last the whole game, and it only seemed to be in certain scenarios, but Kennedy on Bruin was one. I don't know why, but I'm not Luke Beveridge there, so that's a question for him. And the other one was Andy Brayshaw is now a tagger for the Dockers.
Oh,
really?
So that could be the reason that his scoring is so up and down, because he had the job on Harley Reid in the Derby.
Right. Okay.
So those are two things that caught my eye there. So I think with the faster pace of the game, there's a lot more hard checking going on, especially at stoppages. So it's just something that caught my eye on the weekend. Potato, you're the guest. You can go next. What caught your eye this weekend which has gone by?
That's a really interesting observation though. So the rise of the taggers and even the sort of A graders as well, one to watch. But what caught my eye though is Elijah Sardis for the Bombers. So I think it's Sardis season now with Perkins sort of out. I think it's kind of changed the dynamics of the CBAs there, and they've just looked amazing, really, the last 2 weeks. So what sort of happened, what I noticed was Durham has actually stopped the CBAs and has kind of moved more to a half forward role, probably replacing Perkins. And that's allowed Sardis to go into the midfield. So I think it's a real deal. I know last year I thought that, but maybe I was a year too early. But he definitely caught my eye though.
What caught my eye this week? It'll be Melbourne just beating the reigning premiers, fellas. Melbourne get a dog up ya. Absolutely get done. SuperCouch doesn't matter when your team is the most exciting team in the entire AFL.
Yeah. Melbourne owns that mid-afternoon time slot on a Sunday.
On a Sunday, watch out, baby.
Yeah.
Hide your children, the D's are coming. It was so good. I'm so... It's truly exhausting to follow Melbourne right now because I don't know if we're good or not, but all I know is I'm excited. Just like looking at my man, I was so dead set convinced. I was like, oh, we beat St Kilda. Like St Kilda are a bit of like a mid team. Like, don't know what's going on with them. And then we lost to Freo, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is where we are. And then we beat Gold Coast, and then we had that comeback against Carlton, and then we lost. And then I was like, oh, okay,
lose
like,
to Essendon.
Yeah, I was like, maybe we're running, and then we got absolutely dominated by Essendon, who, for some reason,
Where
Essendon
did that
played
come from?
The best game that they had ever played, both tactically and performance wise, and they played really well again this week. Actually, so fair credit to Essendon, like you said, Couch. They really seem to have solved their positioning issues and kind of know where everyone's roles are, like from everything from Peter Wright being in the ruck a bit to Archie Roberts being the halfback guy to, just moving those getting rid of Archie Perkins, who bless him. I wanted him to succeed so badly, but unfortunately he kind of needs to find a way to reset himself, I think, after years of just getting a raw run at it. But yeah, Melbourne are back. That caught my eye. We're back, baby, and this means that we might lose to Richmond.
and then beat Sydney.
Yeah, and then beat Sydney at the SCG.
Yeah,
just because.
Stephen King has rejuvenated that team, though.
I love him so much. I'm so glad we got Stephen King. I never wanted any of the other coaches that were on that list, and as soon as I saw his pedigree from being in the Geelong system for a really long time, I don't think we often say negative things about Geelong, but I think collectively everybody who's not a Geelong supporter always has this airy, like this feeling when you talk about them, we're like, like this sustained success for so long, like it's been a while since they've like truly bottomed out. Since they've truly bottomed out, and that's on the back of building such a successful club around their squad. So if Stephen King by osmosis brings any of that kind of thinking to both Melbourne's style of play and the way, like, I don't think Tim Lamb gets enough kudos for the young talent that he's built on our list, even during the Simon Goodwin era, because we kind of have all these pieces that just need opportunity to develop. But I think, Stephen King bringing that kind of methodology is hopefully what's going to drive us into, a hopeful future. Anyway, that's my Melbourne. Oh yeah, the Irish jig fucking rules. The Jim Steins game jig. I forgot it was the Jim Steins game, and then as soon as I heard that fiddle, oh brother, what a time! This is the best game of the year. 10 out of 10.
Do you reckon Brisbane left the MCG and would close their eyes on the plane home and would still hear it? Do you reckon it was like a traumatizing experience for them to not only lose to you guys, but to hear that every time Melbourne kicked a goal?
I think if they're any kind of professional sportsman, Damo, then they have to learn to channel that rage and to zone it out, but it'll always be there.
Yeah.
Just underlying in the background.
Excellent.
Sorry, I forgot I was hosting, so I'll now that I've derailed the podcast enough, Damo, can you take us through the injuries from this week?
Sure. The big one is Sam Darcy has done his ACL and will miss the rest of the season. Big loss for the Bulldogs. Yeah. Tim Taranto is in concussion protocols. Sam Banks has a broken collarbone. And news that's just come out today is Harry Sheasel has a broken finger, but it's not expected to impact him at all. So nothing to worry about there, just something to keep on the radar.
Do you know what that means? Better kick to handball ratio, please. Can't handball, just
maybe.
Kick it.
Hopefully.
Off the halfback line.
I mean, he does have Toby Bedford this week.
True, yeah. That's something to watch out for.
You had to bring us back down to earth, didn't you, Dave?
Oh, no, jeez.
Yeah.
Can't let us have 5 seconds of joy. Yeah, all really terrible injuries, but thankfully limited SuperCouch implication. Limited. Although as somebody who owns Sam Banks across a few different keeper formats, womp womp.
It could be
very early on as well. He had a 2 SuperCouch score that I had to field this week in one of my keeper leagues, and it's upsetting.
Sam Banks' broken collarbone opens the door for a bit of a spike for Sam Grill, I think, though.
Possibly. Or coming. I don't know where Cummings going to play, but he's coming in.
His name is very funny. And
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't.
His name is very funny. And we're grown-ups, so we're going to move on. Joe Fonte has been suspended for 1 week. James Sicily has been suspended for 1 week. And Dylan Moore has been suspended for 1 week. Thankfully, once again, relatively limited SuperCouch impact. But if you own these guys in draft leagues, probably bench them.
There were some people that jumped on Joe Fonte after his start to the season. If you still have him, this is probably the opportunity to jump off.
There you go. 3 main cash cows for this week. This all feels like housekeeping, guys. So we'll be able to get to these questions real quick. Angus Anderson for Collingwood, hopefully set to play his 3rd game this week and score some tasty, tasty cash for us. He's actually been playing quite well.
Yeah.
With a 70 and a 64 last week. Sorry, 79 in his first game and 64 against Carlton. And they're playing Essendon this week. Yep, looks good. He looks like ready for AFL level, which has been super encouraging for picking him.
Yeah.
Elijah Sardis has made his return and he's good now. We've already mentioned.
It seems that way. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's good now.
He's good.
And Sullivan Roby, who also I'm less interested in, but I hope he does well.
I think if people need a forward rookie to move on to, Sully Roby is a guy to look at. He needs a spike score though to really get his cash generation rather going. But he's going to have one of those games soon, I think.
Speaking of spike scores, sorry, unrelated, but big shout out to Braden Cook this week, who hit a 99 and reset his break even down to 18.
Yes.
So
in the warm confines of my bench.
I was wondering where you were going with that, with your warm confines. But yeah, that was really great to see because I think he was probably a candidate to move on this week. But
yeah.
No longer. Move it right along to No Heaney. Bont has been named despite battling knee soreness. So this is relating to the Thursday night game because it's been announced at the time of recording. No Heaney is huge, especially for people who would have bought in after its massive 186.
This is the second game that he's missed with calf tightness.
Interesting.
So is it something to just monitor there? Because he missed the Hawks game where Sydney lost, and then he came back and scored his massive scores, and then he's missing with calf tightness again after a quiet game. So maybe there's something going on there.
Oof, yeah, Damo, you're not filling me with joy at all to hear that news. So definitely something. I'm glad I didn't bring him in.
Yeah, I was close as well. But I guess if you got Heaney, you just got to hold him. You know, he's going to play next week on the Sunday, second last game against your boys, the D's. So yeah, I think that's going to give him plenty of time to recover, hopefully, unless we get a timeline. But yeah, ouch.
Not at the risk of sounding like I'm supporting injury, but maybe just take an extra week of rest, Isaac.
That's fine. It's 3:15 on a Sunday.
Yeah, it won't matter. That's your slot.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back in. Come back as soon as you can. We got you. Moving it on. Upgrade season has begun, and it's time to start thinking about the buys. Damo, you've noted here that we have to credit Troy for replacing the discussion.
Troy messaged me, and he messaged me at about round 3, believe it or not, to say he's noticed a lot of the premiums over the first few weeks of the season all were sort of the ones that have come out of the blocks had all sort of come from the same buy rounds, round 12 and 16. And he just, wanted to put it on the radar that when we're looking at our premiums to upgrade, when we're, cashing in our rookies and using the cash to increase our team's scoring capabilities, we need to look out for the buy rounds, make sure we're not stacking one buy round, like going over the top too much.
Yeah, agreed. It's I hate that I have to be responsible and think about buy rounds, Damo.
I think there's going to be one buy round that kind of gets people by surprise. It's either going to be the first one or the last one, and it's going to be interesting to see which one most people fall into the trap of. But I mean, the good news is about the round 16 buy is throughout the buys, there'll be teams coming off their buy that you can then move players into and all that sort of thing. So you'll probably have more players available for the round 16 by doing the trading during that period. So it could be all right.
That's a good shout out. Definitely I think the first bye's got a bit easier with the Rosie injury as well. It's kind of allowed people to just have one less. But that last bye, yeah, I think I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you include Flanders as a keeper, and possibly 6 Primo's already out. So, yeah, got to keep an eye on that. I agree.
Yeah, so round 16 is Geelong, St Kilda, Melbourne and the Dogs.
Is there a bye you're targeting? Just anyone in the middle, or
just balance it, I guess.
I've noticed.
I haven't even looked, and I'm going to be very upset, I feel like, when I do.
How many have you got missing on round 13?
1.
Probably just 1. Grill? A rookie?
Yeah.
Whitfield.
Ah, so you already got Whitfield. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got 0 missing, so including rookies or primos.
You could probably target a couple of players from there then. But yeah, it's just it's just about balance, I guess.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's fine. That's later. That's later problems, guys.
Later problems. But upgrade season is starting, and we don't want people to get caught out.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. Just deal with it later. That's my solution.
Well, yeah, we could plan for it now, and then they all get injured anyway. So
exactly. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Live for today. It's time for the Spark demo.
Yeah. So, Potato, you're looking for a GWS player, so you can have some players, available for the other buys and only off in that one buy. And I've got a name for you. He used to play for Melbourne. His name is Clayton Oliver.
Never heard of him.
537k. Only 1 score below 108 for the whole season so far. And he just seems revitalized. He's back to the Clary of old. He's taken the Tom Green responsibility and he's back. 537k. Great investment.
Can I do a shout out? I know somebody who started Clayton Oliver this year. And that has been insane to watch because I mocked them. Because I was like, really? I was like, that's a, like, I get it, but also, like, really? Like, you don't want to pick somebody a little bit more certain or a little bit more pedigree?
I also know someone that started Clayton Oliver, but I don't know. No.
It's my wife. My wife started Clayton Oliver. She was so certain she's going to be really smug about it when it comes up on the show, when she listens.
I'm pretty sure Jeffrey Head started Clayton Oliver as well.
Jeff, you listen to the show. Let us know. Did you? We could look it up, but I'm not going to.
I know he had him at some point.
In one of the versions of our many teams.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Damon. I think he's a great spark because he really has accepted that role. And ironically, it was kind of low-key the best outcome for him because we knew going into the trade to GWS that he and Tom Green play really similar games. Like, they play really similar styles in terms of getting it in and out of those stoppages. So not having to compete for points in that sense has been probably really, really good for him and really damaging for people who didn't start him. I think we wrote him off maybe a little bit too soon.
Maybe, but I mean, you got to have the form for people to have confidence in you. So he was missing it for a while.
How's his next 4 games as well? North, assuming he doesn't get tagged by O'Sullivan, I reckon he'll go to Callahan. Gold Coast, who don't tag, Essendon, and then West Coast. This next run, I think, for GWS players, he could go in nuts here. He could go 120 average over those 4 weeks.
10 out of 10. Fantastic spark, Damo. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Damo, distracted looking up something. Thanks for Yep. Anyway. Listeners, make sure you submit questions before 8 p.m. Melbourne time on Wednesday to be included in the episode. Links to the question form is on our website, or you can comment on our posts on social media that we do. We ask for questions. Remember, you can send us voice memos if you want to, but Damo has said that they need to be in by Tuesday. so that we can prep them ahead of time for the episode. The link to the voice note submission is next to the question form on the website, thefootymailbag.net. So, questions by Wednesday, 8 p.m, voice memos by Tuesday, 8 p.m. Remember your homework. Moving on to grievances and gratitudes, Damo. Maybe we need a theme song for this segment.
A theme song?
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
I think it's really taken off because we've got Snrub. Snrub's written back in again, having the time of his life. Well. Back again. More good trades last week, and he brought in the possible D1 and F1 in Luke Parker and Christian Petrarca. Another very high-scoring week has seen the Snrub rise to just outside the top 100 once again this year. I started this year only trading in pods, and it's paying off. Cozzy coming in this week. Snrub, you're killing it. I like the way Snrub thinks.
I love how he's using this segment as just like a little diary as well. We're just getting constant updates every single week. Like, if he wins, he needs to we need to get him off. If he finishes top 10, let's say top 10, we need to uncover Mr. Snrub and get him on the podcast.
Well, I think that if Snrub wins at all, that he'll be donating his winnings back to the nuclear energy concern of the town.
Yes, probably.
I do love this as well. It's very, very much Breaking Benjamin, the Diary of Snrub.
Yeah.
Thanks. I really hope I keep it going, Snrub. Keep us updated. Cozzy coming in this week is huge. I might just get you to write in every week so that I can copy your trades, so that I feel certain that I am on the right wagon. Jared has sent us a gratitude and a grievance. Damo and Couch. Gratitude. Jordan Clark finding some form and merit is getting the job done. Excellent gratitudes. Both correct things. Jordan Clark coming off a 146?
146 and the Derby medal.
And the Derby medal. And Zach Merritt coming off a 150, I believe. 156 as well?
150 on the dot.
150. See, I remember things. Great if you've got him. Awesome work, Jared. Great pickups. Merritt, I think, should be very popular this week for his price, and he's shown that his roll is super tasty. Like, just eat it up. Grievances. No clearer as to who the top target for defenders and forwards that will be top 8. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I was actually saying off mic that I feel like this week I should try and trade in a good forward, but I either have to get Christian Petrarca or question mark. Like, who is it? Maybe Took Miller, but then you don't want 2 Gold Coast forwards. It's a struggle.
Jack Ross.
I'm invested in Jack Ross's journey. He's actually had a very, very good year so far. Only one game that was really disappointing, and the rest of them have all been quite surprising. He's currently the upcoming mid talent in Dubs FC, my Keeper League team, right behind Noah Anderson. He's really had to step up in Noah Anderson's departure for the club, and he's really showing that he's got the capability to take on that responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, on current averages, it's Petrarca, Sheasel, Pickett, Tracy, McInerney, and Miller as the top 6. I'm not including Cadman or Deer when they've only played 1 game each.
Yeah. J-Max probably looking to be a really good option as well this week with no Heaney again.
Agreed. Yep.
I traded him last week. Very happy.
Good.
What about Horn Francis? Horn Francis, though.
I don't think I can go there again.
I owned him last year and I hated it. I'm not doing it again.
They've actually had a really easy run, and he's averaging 93, so...
They've had a really easy run, and then I'm like looking at their win-loss ratio and like, have they?
Well...
Not for them.
They were supposed to win more games than they have, I think.
Yeah. Did somebody tell Port that? That's a good call out, though. Like, I think bias aside, you can't ignore a guy who's averaging 90. Like, it's the numbers don't lie. The numbers tell the truth. But hey, should we get to some questions?
Yeah, get to the questions.
Get to the questions. That's what we do. That's in the show title. Benji has written in and says, do I settle for 2 trades this week, Jagger Smith and Jai Sarong to Anderson and J-Mac, or use the last boost to go Colby to Jason Horn Francis as well? Seamless transition. I feel yucky boosting for Jason Horn-Francis, low-key.
That could mean multiple things.
I feel yucky boosting for the horny one, Damo.
I think just do the 2 trades. Don't use your last boost on Jason Horn-Francis.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too soon to use the last boost, but over the buys, we're going to have 5 weeks where we get an extra trade to use anyway from round 12. So maybe round 10, you can risk using your last boost, but yeah, I just think it'd be too soon during upgrade season. If you're trying to replace an injury while upgrading, it can really set you back a couple of weeks. So yeah, I'd avoid, especially if it's just for Horn-Francis. Different if it was for someone better, but yeah, I wouldn't waste it.
There's something as well. I know that Colby McKercher hasn't quite had the role that we wanted him to. Like, he's shown that he can do it. He's shown that he's had limited opportunities to do it, but it's just not working out. I feel like you gotta keep a guy who's best 22 and focus on your other issues if you were going to use that boost. Kind of like you guys are saying, like, McKercher would not be your biggest problem. It would be about focusing on getting the right rookies and getting rid of those guys who probably aren't getting moved around quite as much. And I think it's a lesson that I've kind of already learned this year so far in, sometimes it's you get rid of guys too early, and sometimes you need to just focus on the bigger issues I got rid of Archie Roberts and he has turned out to have a blinder to the point where I've had to bring him back in. Like, it seemed like the right idea at the time and then has not worked out that way at all. So don't jump too early and save that boost. I think we're all in agreement on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of the North Melbourne Kangaroos, though, Matthew has asked us, what are your thoughts on Cam Zurhaar's shift into defence? Could he be a pod forward eligible option? He's got a second question, but we'll answer the Zurhaar one first.
Clarko can't leave the magnet board alone. I would not touch Cam Zurhaar, even as a stepping stone, because I've used too many trades on injuries already. I can't invest in a stepping stone at this point anymore. So no, I don't trust Cam Zurhaar. I mean, Cam Zurhaar's role, he might stick or it might not. I think they were trying to get his form up because he's been very quiet to start the season. Does he stay in defence? Who knows? I mean, people would prefer Colby McKercher back there, I think, but does it work for North Melbourne? I don't know. It worked on the weekend, but it was against Richmond, so.
Couch, what do you make of it?
Yeah, he's got a negative break even, -7, and I mean, how many weeks do you really need him to play in defence? Another 2, and it might work out if he makes 120k or 150k with some good scores, but they're definitely going to have tougher opponents. I just don't want the headache of dealing with McKercher and Zurhaar, swap in game or something, and you got to deal with that next week as well. So, yeah,
Zurhaar's next 6 weeks worry me as well.
Agreed.
The Giants, Geelong, the Swans, the Crows, Suns, Dockers.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't
could
think
argue that if he ends up half back, though, that's a really good.
But he won't stay there, though.
Yeah, I think he'll eventually return to the forward line.
Well, I guess we'll find out. I don't know yet. I don't know if I can say get him in right away. I think you got to see him do it a couple times before you even.
I trust Parker in defence more than McKercher or Zurhaar. I don't think he's going to move this year. I'd get him at 556k as a keeper. I know that doesn't fix the forward line, but yeah, if you're using Zurhaar as a cash cow, it's pretty risky if he drops a poor score and then, gets reshuffled. So I think I'm going to avoid, but watch him drop a 130 this week.
Yeah. Let the asterisk remain. Matthew has also asked, what is your favorite way to cook a potato?
Oh, this is the thing about potatoes. It's the most versatile food. You can have it for breakfast as a hash brown. You can have it French fries for lunch. You can have it mashed potato for dinner. I love it in all its forms.
My partner made homemade crinkle cut chips just tonight for dinner.
You see,
delicious.
Even the chips can be in different ways. Potatoes,
air fryer.
How about
the only place
potato?
we don't want them is on the footy field, and unfortunately, that's where we keep getting all the spuds.
What's a Hasselback potato, Damo?
It's when you cut the potatoes in like thinly sliced, but you don't go fully through the potato, and then you put like salt and butter and rosemary and things like that, and it all crisps up, and you eat it
Sounds
with
amazing.
and you like rip bits off and like dip it.
So it's just like a baked potato with extra steps.
Pretty much.
With extra steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like a garlic bread, like you take
Yeah.
it apart a bit so you can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the flavors in the middle. Is that your favorite way then? Is that your favorite potato, Damo?
Let's go with that. But like Potato says, they're versatile.
No, we know the question isn't are potatoes versatile. The question is what's your favorite way to cook a potato? I gotta say I'm a hash brown / rusty man.
Yes,
Nice.
that's
Just
good
like
too.
a crispy, crunchy, like fluffy on the inside potato product. I'm all about that.
I don't mind that. One place that probably is no good though is probably on pizza. Can't say I've ever had potato on pizza.
I've had potato on pizza. It's actually not too bad.
I can see like
There
a
you go.
world where if like you got like a particularly saucy like a margarita, and like you dip in some chips in the sauce and kind of becomes the whole thing. Hey, listeners out there, if you're in the east / southeast, is it southeast? In Cranbourne, there is a now famous or viral shop that allegedly has the best potato cakes on Cams Road. I have considered and possibly am still considering making the pilgrimage there, where they literally have been featured. Like, I'm seeing it all over the internet. They've got like loads of different flavors of potato cakes. Like they have like Mexican potato cakes.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, triple battered, melted cheese and bacon. They got soy ones. You got cheesy garlic ones. We're not sponsored by them, but hey, 11 Cams Road, Cranbourne, if you're heading past that area, they have 20 flavors of potato cake, and they've got a monster flavored one. What? I'm just seeing this now.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I gotta definitely go and check that place out. I've been hearing, so it's on my list to make the trip down there, but it's we've got an 18-month-old, and making that 30-40 minute trip is like gotta get there.
Thanks for the shout out. That's moving on anyway.
But yeah, hey, potatoes are your realm, but sometimes you got to tell the master where it's at. Since you got a Bombers Nuffy joining you, nothing but love, says Jevs. Sardis, yeah or nah?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the CBAs are up. His time on ground's up. Yeah, he's been working on quite a bit as well in the VFL. Obviously, the numbers are there as well. And look at the way the Bombers have been playing the last 2 weeks. It's actually been entertaining. So, yeah, I think he gets a good run at it. He's either going to play or he's not. I don't think he's going to get moved around. And if he's going to play 200K, I think he's going to make a bit of money there as well and be a good on-field scorer. So, yeah, yes, for me.
Damo?
He's a yes for me. He's coming in for me this week.
Yeah, a -49 break even is just too tempting at that price point, and we kind of gotta take the rookies as we get them. Even it's hard. The rookies that we have are really good. Have you guys noticed this?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, I feel weird sitting here thinking like, oh man, like should I really be trading out Grill? His break even's 53. Like he's still probably got another 1 to 2 weeks to just really get every penny. Murdoch doesn't seem like he's going to be coming down anytime soon. Like I know he's only just back. Even guys like Filippo, like really slow burn, but he's meeting expectations. Like it's hardly a reason to be like, oh, well, absolutely have to get rid of this guy.
Well, even Lombard as well. He's only made 79K, but he's got a 25 break even. He just needs that one spike score. He's still going to slowly make money as well. So yeah, I feel like the rookies, the strategy this year is definitely guns and rookies. The mid prices have just been an absolute fail, I think, except for like a Braun.
Darcy Parish just getting good after everybody trades him out is still probably the second funniest thing to happen this year.
Yeah, and I did it as well. Yeah.
I will say this publicly. I don't want to see anyone grandstanding about holding Parish because the people who traded him out at the time when Essendon were god awful to watch. So, with all due respect, they were god awful to watch for many weeks, and Parish was a particularly big problem of that. It was the right time to let go. Like I think people gave him probably 1 or 2 more weeks than he deserved based on the output.
But it's funny how Sardis has come in at the same moments that Parrish has started to return these scores. It's almost you talked about it earlier in when we talked about what caught your eye. You having Sardis in has allowed the positions kind of to rejig at Essendon and feel more cohesive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it just
settled.
Yeah, it feels way more settled now.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Essendon, Peter has written in and asked us, will Zach Merritt be a top 8 mid? Thoughts?
Look, on current form, you'd have to say there's a pretty strong chance.
He's been incredible, hasn't he? I think he's still good for 115 average. He's currently averaging 121. Jeez, if he sits at about a 115, I still think that's going to be top 10 to 15. But if he sits at this 121, then yeah, I think so. I think he could be a top 10. And he's got a good buy, round 15 as well. It should be a bit easy to sort of navigate as well, potentially.
It's hard because I don't want to be like lock him into the top 8, but I agree with you. I think he's probably at least minimum based on this current form, 8 to 15 at the lowest, allowing for a little bit of wiggle room of some other people coming through. Like, you know, like LDU is probably someone who's sliding up there at the moment that kind of has come out of nowhere. Ed Richards could go one way or the other to ease in or out of that top 10. But based on his current form and role, you got to say that Merritt would have to be right up there. It's just whether it's sustainable. But either way, I still think he's an absolute option this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think he's a nice price, nice buy, nice matchup, perfect.
He's no Tim Kelly, but...
Hey, I got Tim Kelly.
Fantastic.
Hey, that's, you know, we have been the biggest champions of Tim Kelly for at least 3 weeks now. 3 weeks? 3 weeks now, right?
About 3 weeks,
3
yeah.
weeks since we had Rookie on. Shout out to Rookie. We love you, brother. Jared has written in and says, which rookies to trade this week? Still have Scary, Sherry, Robertson, also Jai Sarong, Jagger Smith, Jakes, and Grill are all close to maximum value. What do you think is more important, rookies that are out or ones that can lose more value?
He has a second question. I don't know if it's the same Jared or not, though.
That's all right. We'll come back around to it. If it's if it's separate, then let's just talk about rookies, because we've just been talking about how good the current crop of rookies is. I think at this point you kind of have to focus on the ones that are out.
I think you could hold. I don't think Sherry's made enough money to be worth trading out just yet. I don't know if
play, Damo?
I don't know if he comes back in, but at 137k, where are you going with him? What benefit is it to downgrade him and make $10,000? Like, that's not like it doesn't really do anything for your team. Whereas Robertson's out with an ACL, he's not coming back. He's almost doubled his price. He could have done his job a little bit, like for a little bit longer had he not gotten injured. But he doubled his starting price almost. He's done well for how long he played. Jai Sarong's break even is 64. Two of his last 3 scores have been below that. He's probably good to go. Jagger Smith is out of the centre bounce rotations. He's probably good to go. Jakes with the outs might bounce back this week against Sydney. And then Grill has an opening with Sam Banks out. So I think Robertson and Sarong are the 2 right at the top of the list. And Jagger Smith, that are the 3 that you can probably think about moving on from.
Yeah, in that list specifically.
Yeah, just on Robertson though, I've noticed a lot of teams don't have loopholes, particularly with Zane, the Brisbane ruck. I think a lot of people got caught out last week. I'm holding. That's the one, yeah. I'm holding Robertson at the moment as my loop. I know it's a lot of cash there, but I know I've got another, 150k there if needed. I can, downgrade him to a basement rookie while I'm getting the loop, because they're playing last game or Sunday this week, next round as well. They're sort of in the middle. I've found, it's been very valuable to hold just for last week and maybe the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, whereas Cherry, I think they play second game next week though, but he's not really going to be a good loop option at all. Do you think he comes back in, Damo?
I think he's first in if any of the small forwards or any pace comes out of the side through injury. So there's a chance that he could get another handful of games at some point, but who knows? They really like him. They really like him. So
I think
he might force his way in.
Like, I agree with you, Damo, that he's not made enough really to really get value on trading him down. But I also hate the idea of holding this guy who is just debt economy. Like, I understand, obviously, you don't make much from the trade itself, but say trading, if you had the cash, trading Sherry to a Sardis, right? And you go, I'm happy with all my other rookies. Like, I've gotten rid of Sarong, I've gotten rid of Jagger. All my other guys have justifiable break evens. I want to keep the cash gen. Like, you're going to end up making that money in the difference, hopefully through someone like Sardis, who we know is currently best 22 and probably scores, you know, at least even like 40 points more than what Sherry was scoring in the team.
It depends where you have Sherry in your team. If he's on your mid bench and him to Angus Anderson makes perfect sense for you this week, 100% do that trade. I think that's fine. I've got him in my forward line at the moment, and I know a lot of people have him there as well. I'm waiting for a forward rookie to come along that is worth trading him to. So, like, I'm holding him until that point.
Yeah. Sorry, to be completely clear, I agree with you. I just think it's important to consider, like, that other side of it, like what's best for your team.
Yeah.
If you're not getting value from the trade, then
this is.
I just looked at it. I'm literally $200 short of turning him to Justin McInerney, and that's upsetting. It's just like, I'm live having a look, and you can hear, if you pause the podcast listeners and go back just a little bit, you might be able to hear the point where my heart breaks. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, thank you.
It's so funny.
Jared's...
I've not had a problem with cash for like the last 4 weeks, given the amount of injuries. Literally had like 900k at one point I had to spend, so I got gone. Yeah, and then later you just run out of money by 200.
Yeah, I'm still holding Tim English. I don't know why. I said this off camera. I'm like, I've got 500k. If we're talking about, this is the housing market equivalent of holding cash in property for no reason other than to hopefully drive up prices for everybody else.
So you're negative gearing Tim English.
Negative gearing SuperCouch. And boy, am I negative about it, Damo. Jared, we don't know. There's a second question from Jared. I don't know if it's the same Jared or a different Jared, but it's spelt the same, so I'm going to jump to that one. We've talked about Sardis a little bit, but he asks thoughts on Sardis as a double downgrade this week, as he doesn't have enough cash to get his desired premiums from rookies. Already turned Sarong into Anderson, and he could get rid of Robertson, Jagger, or Jakes. Better to do this or wait for cheaper price rookies coming in the coming weeks, or go early on Rechko. So I think, just to summarize, because we've talked about Sardis a lot this week, we think Sardis is a great trade-in, but do you guys think it's worth turning one of those guys into Sardis, or going early on Rechko? I think is probably the
Don't go early on Rechko. Go early on Rechko.
Yeah,
wait for him. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a great trade-in when he's on the bubble, because I think he's going to get a bit of a run in that Richmond side, but never go early on a rookie.
Oh, I went early on Angus Anderson last week, but yeah, I had to restructure
a lot of people
the
did,
team.
and I can't believe people were so confident about it.
It was more the restructure. Like, even if I had to wait a few weeks for him to play, it allowed me to free up a few other things. But if you're trading in Sardis, I think you've got to get him on field, and not at the expense of someone like a Murdoch or a Lindsay. Maybe I'd probably want on field at the moment as well. So if it changes your structure and you've got to move some of those good rookies off, I'd be a bit worried. But that's just depending on the team, 2 cents.
Vinny has written to us and asked, Bolton and Jace Burgoyne need to be dissected. Too inconsistent for my liking. Is this a grievance? Are we dissected like physically, or their roles? Shea Bolton is doing that thing that he always does every year, whether it's at Freo or Richmond, where he has these moments where I'm like, whoa, he's the greatest. He's one of the greatest players who's ever lived. And then I'm like,
does nothing for like,
like 3 weeks later, I'm like, I haven't thought of Shea Bolton for a while. Is he still playing?
I think Shea Bolton's going to be the sort of player in the forward line who probably finishes top 15 in totality, but in terms of week-to-week scoring, it's like 60 or 150, very rarely in between.
Yeah, I don't trust Bolton. He just played West Coast. You'd think the easiest game, and he drops to 66. Yeah, no, I think there's better options.
What do we make of Jace Burgoyne?
I love the pick as a pod, but I think his role has changed due to all the injuries at Port Adelaide now. So I don't think he is worth holding on to anymore. He hasn't made a lot of money, but it's almost at cut your losses point with him.
What was up with him tagging Sire Wangan and Miller against in round 5? That was strange.
Versatility. Jace Burgoyne could follow him anywhere.
He didn't do great, but yeah.
Yeah, not really.
Snrub sends us our final question of the week, guys. He asks who scores more this week? Brodie Grundy against whoever the doggies are using. Louis Emmett.
Lachlan Smith.
Oh, they've got the other guy in now as well.
Yep.
Okay. Lachlan Smith and Louis Emmett. Or Luke Jackson versus his old teammate Reedy.
Probably Grundy. But
yeah, I think I'd have to say Grundy as well.
I think it's Grundy, but Jackson could also go pretty big.
Potato, who are you picking?
Jeez, I reckon
Choose
Grundy.
one of your
children. He's in that form. I'd go Gawn though. If you got all the rucks, imagine that. Grundy, Gawn, Jackson. You'd be laughing, but in that situation, it's a perfect VC really, unless you don't have a loop. But first game, I think
it's annoying because I've got an injured Tim English on my team that I could use for a loophole if he weren't playing in the same. Jesus.
That's why I traded Butterick this week. I can't even loop him.
Useless.
Could have been a good hold.
Yeah, useless. Yeah, Grundy is my choice as well. I've got the VC on him, and I'm hopefully I'll just hold Cherry and he won't play again. Right, Damo?
I would be surprised if the Dockers make any team changes.
I was messaging Damo frantically after Grundy's 136 last week because I was like, I have to legally I have to take that because prospecting for anything more is just the universe will punish me. So I was like, Damo, Sherry's not playing, right? And he's like, don't think so. And then send me updates. Bless your soul, Damo. You're sending me updates going, nope, okay, this seems fine. It'll be okay.
I think I saw your message and it was, I think you must have messaged me early in the morning, and of course time difference, it was very early in the morning for me. And I responded without really looking into it, and then later on I was like, yeah, nah, it's good. You'll be fine.
Yeah. That's it. I messaged you at 11:23 p.m. on Friday night, and you didn't message me back until the Saturday morning. So, with just Sherry unlikely. And then I didn't get a proper response for a few hours, which is very funny. Traffic lights. That's all our questions. So, traffic lights, keep a lookout for them on our socials and the website. Green is good, yellow is watch or hold, red is trade or avoid. We give players ratings for several reasons, including but not limited to potential, job security, price point, reliability, injury, status. Read the little blah blah to get your thoughts. Damo, we've called people out for not reading the blah blah.
Just down!
Thank you for that. Anyway, thank you, Godfather, for joining us.
Actually, he was really good about that. I told him that we gave him a shout out last week, and he sent me that. So
thank you so much, Scott. He's so beautiful. You obviously, listeners, you beautiful listeners, you obviously follow this Godfather. But if you happen to not be following his YouTube channel or his Twitter or whatever you're on, make sure you go and support him because he is such a beautiful, kind human. I love the positivity that he radiates in the SuperCouch community.
Yeah, great.
But yeah, read the blah blahs. Listeners, if you see someone in the comments who asks a question and it's in the blah blah, you tell them, you say someone didn't listen to the show, you give them a little finger waggle. Take a little
down!
That's it. We respectfully shame people for not listening to the podcast That's the kind of show that we run here. Shortly after teams drop on a Thursday, it'll be out with an update on Friday if it's needed once the Sunday teams are confirmed. On the website, on the front page, there's a traffic lights button that is next to the podcast player, and it takes you straight to the latest edition of the traffic lights. Time for captains. Make sure you check out Nate's captains article, which is also on the website, thefootymailbag.net. Nate's captains articles go up on Tuesdays. Yeah, they go up on Tuesdays where they include our tips and Nate's takes for his captain options for this week. And it's a good read. Go and support him. He's doing really wonderful work. Who have we got our VCs on?
Jack Steele.
Okay.
Against Richmond. Jack Steele.
Nice.
Interesting. I've got Gorn.
Yeah, and I'm
yeah, there you go.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, if I'm doing Brady Grundy, why are you going for Gorn?
No, well, I put a tweet out just this evening saying like if they change the rules where the captain was worth 2 times and the vice captain was worth 1.5 times, so there's no captain loophole anymore, I'd probably put the captain on Gorn and then the VC on Pickett in the same game. Just an interesting concept. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Damo, who's your captain on?
Luke Jackson.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe. I'm stuck. I'm really stuck on the captain this week. I'm not going to go Butters, obviously, because he could get tagged. I'm not going to go Dacos against Essendon. I heard he might be playing up forward maybe more as well. Sheezel with a broken hand. I don't know, just not going to go there. So I think I'm going on Petrarca against Hawthorn.
That's real
BC
spicy.
Gorn,
I like that.
Captain Petrarca.
Are you not thrown off a little bit by being played at UTAS?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I don't think Petrarca's ever played there. That's why I have no idea. So, yes, I'm very thrown off.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
O'Sheen going to Butters is probably a likelihood, isn't it?
Or Mark O'Connor.
Yeah.
You know what? Mark O'Connor and Ocean Mullen could come in and tag Horn Francis and Butters, and Port Adelaide could be completely useless on Saturday night.
Jack Watkins, time to shine.
So, Willem Drew game.
Well, hopefully it's not a draw because I've tipped Geelong to win.
Nice.
Yep.
Fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Was that wordplay a bit of a stretch?
It took me a while. It did.
Yeah. I've got the captain on Cozzy Pickett because why not? It doesn't matter. This game's made up and have fun.
That sounds very fun.
I have
Grundy
so many other
into
options.
Pickett.
Maybe Jack Sinclair against West Coast.
I think I like Sinclair more than Pickett, but I like both.
Archie Roberts against Collingwood. Also people that I'm considering.
Has Sinclair been consistent enough, though, to captain? Yeah, he has.
No, he has not.
Yeah, but I mean...
Okay. Only 82.
Jordan Clark scored 146 last week in the same role that Sinclair plays, so...
You guys have a look at Jack Sinclair's scores. And out of all those scores, which one do you think I put the captain on him for?
Oh, no.
I know the answer. I know the answer to this.
One time I have captain Jack Sinclair this season. He scored an 82. So maybe I will avoid that. Maybe I'll avoid him. But hey, that brings us to the end of this episode for the Footy Mailbag. Couch Potato, thank you so much for joining us. I think I've called you every different name under the sun because I never know what your preferred moniker is.
Nah, that's okay. Yeah, I've been called SCP, SuperCouch Potato, SuperCoach Potato.
Ooh, I like SCP because it's got the the horror vibes to it as well.
Does it? Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, is this
a horror vibe?
Hey, look it up. So SCP it's like there's a lot of deep lore into it, but essentially they're a foundation that catalogs and records monsters. So people use it to write like scary stories about these entities and objects that are supernatural or sci-fi in nature. Really, some really cool stuff out there. Have you ever played? Have you ever played the video game Control? That involves something that's like aligned with that. Anyway, you might enjoy that.
Interesting. We'll make one about SuperCoach. Who would be your most scariest player?
SuperCoach SCP.
Jack Sinclair with a captain.
Yeah,
maybe.
We'll call it the captain's loophole.
Doesn't SCP make SpaghettiOs?
SPC, Damo.
Ah, yes, very good.
Oh,
yes, SPC is the SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
SCP Foundation, the horror things, And SCP is also our good friend SuperCouch Potato.
Yes.
Very good.
It's been a pleasure.
Where can
Thanks
people
for
find
having
more
me,
of you?
guys. Yeah, I'm very active on Twitter or X. And I also got my own YouTube channel, which I launched this year. So I'll post my team and updates there as well. Hopefully we'll start to see a bit of a climb now as well. I think the team's a bit more settled. So
Yeah, make sure you go and subscribe to SuperCouch Potato's YouTube channel. Definitely go and give him all the love that you show us every
thank
week,
you.
listeners.
Cheers.
Damo, how you doing? Where can people find you?
You can find me at DamoSC on Twitter or X, whatever people want to call it. Yeah, I'm pretty much there and only there.
Isn't it funny that there's like a whole generation of people who have never known it as Twitter?
It hasn't been X for that long, Clarky.
It's been X for a while, Damo.
How long?
How old do you think the people listening to this podcast is?
I'm not saying the people who listen to this podcast. I'm saying people in general. There will be a whole generation of people who will be like, "What the hell is Twitter? What do you mean Twitter? What are you saying?"
True, but we're not there yet.
Damo, we're practically there. You can find me at QuantumJC on Twitter, or you can also check out my other podcast, The Falcon, which is at Falcon Footy Pod, where we chat more shit about football. Don't forget, if you're listening to this, go to your podcast platform of choice and give us the rating.
Sorry,
Yeah. That's a good review if I've ever heard one. He's that boy's so excited that he can't wait to go and give us a 5-star review on his platform of choice. But the best thing you can do as well is word of mouth. If you know somebody who's looking for a new SuperCouch show, if you know somebody who you think might just enjoy us, or if you know somebody who has a question that they need answered, you know where to find us. thefootymailbag.net is our website. The Footy Mailbag is our feed. And we will see you next week, where hopefully my team doesn't shit itself again.
Tune in next time to find out.